All right, welcome. Today, we're going to do something a little different. We're not just going to read a text, we're going to take it apart, almost like an engineer looking at a blueprint. We're going to see how an author builds an argument, sentence by sentence, to take us on a journey from a problem to a solution. Sound good? Let's get into it.
So just think about this for a second. How do you study? And more importantly, is your game plan for a history final the exact same as it is for a chemistry midterm? Probably not, right? Keep that thought in your head, because the author we're looking at today kicks things off with this very idea.
Any really solid argument has to start somewhere, and a great place to start is with a problem that people can actually relate to. So the author begins by pointing out this super common but, well, pretty flawed way of learning.
And boom, there it is, the opening shot. The author points right at new college students and gives this problem a really sticky name, the rubber stamp approach. That one single sentence sets the whole stage for everything that's about to come. But, okay, an idea like that is kind of abstract, right? So how do you make it actually land with the reader?
Well, this is where things get really clever. Instead of just trying to explain the problem with more jargon, the author pulls out a super powerful tool, an analogy. They're about to connect this whole rubber stamp idea to something we all just get, instantly.
So the first question hits you. It's simple, it's visual, and the answer is just obvious. The author's starting to build a little pattern in our heads here.
And the second question just drives that pattern home. You can feel how the mismatch between the situation and the choice is getting bigger and, honestly, a little more ridiculous.
And that's the final nail in the coffin, right? This example is so clearly wrong that the author doesn't have to explain a thing. They've made their point without even really having to state it. That's the real power of a good analogy. Now, watch what happens in this next sentence. After letting us all arrive at the same conclusion on our own, the author just comes in and states the obvious principle we were all thinking. It's a great move because it builds agreement. It's like they're saying, see, we're on the same page. And here's where we can see the logic just laid out perfectly. It's a one-to-one comparison. The occasion is like the learning task, and the appropriate dress is the learning strategy. The logic is now impossible to miss. I mean, if you wouldn't wear the same outfit to every single event, why on earth would you use the same study strategy for every single class? So the author has set up the problem and made it feel completely real with that clothing analogy. Now they're ready to make the pivot. They've basically built a logical bridge for us, and now they're going to walk us right across it to the solution. Okay, this right here, this is the pivot. It's the moment everything clicks together. Look at how they do it. The author literally uses the exact same language from the analogy, putting on the same clothes, to bring in the solution, which they call the skillful learner. See, it's not some random new topic. It's the natural, logical next step that flows directly from that clothing analogy. So clever. And right away, the author gives this solution a name. They're not just skillful, they are flexible learners. This is such a smart move. You define your solution and give it a clear, positive label that people can remember. But they don't just stop at a label. Notice how the very next sentence tells us exactly what it means to be flexible. It's not just some vague idea. It's about having a whole toolkit of different strategies, and, just as important, knowing when to use each one. And finally, the author makes it all concrete. They go from this abstract idea of strategies to real-world examples. A flexible learner gets that studying for a multiple-choice test is totally different from an essay test. And here's the real kicker. It's about knowing what to do and also knowing how to actually do it. It's both knowledge and skill. So we've walked through this thing sentence by sentence. Let's zoom out now and just admire the architecture of this whole argument. It's actually a beautiful, simple blueprint for how to persuade someone. Just look at this four-step flow. It is so elegant and so effective. 1. State a problem. 2. Make it relatable with a great analogy. 3. Use that analogy as a bridge to your solution. And 4. Define that solution with concrete details. This is a pattern you can start to see everywhere now, and it's something you can even use yourself. And that really is the big takeaway here. A truly great argument isn't just a list of facts, it's a carefully planned journey. The author is your guide, and they lead you, step by step, from a problem we all recognize to a solution that feels totally achievable, making sure every single sentence builds perfectly on the last one.
So, I'll leave you with this question. The next time you're reading something, an article, a report, whatever, don't just ask yourself, what are they trying to say? Instead, ask, How are they building their case? What's that hidden blueprint holding the whole thing together? Because once you start looking for it, you'll start to see it everywhere.